This is Divas 2 Radio. Real talk for real people. Stay tuned.
Bless your blue-green ocean, bless your endless sky, your streams and your valleys, your mountains so high. Bless your gods and goddesses, Buddha, Sikh and Jay, Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, we praise your many names. We speak 1,000 languages, we speak with the same tongue. Bless our planet under one sky, all the people on it. We all laugh and we all cry. Oh, bless our planet, place of our birth. We are all one family, we are children of the earth. Bless your vibrant cities, bless your sacred ground, your hillsides and your forests, and bless your tiny town. Bless the winged ones that fly, bless the horse and bear, elephant, the dolphin, the cricket and the hare. We speak 1,000 languages, we speak with the same tongue. Bless our planet under one sky, all the people on it. We all laugh and we all cry. Oh, bless our planet, place of our birth. We are all one family, we are children of the earth. Bless our planet under one sky, all the people on it. We all laugh and we all cry. Oh, bless our planet, place of our birth. We are all one family, we are children of the earth. We are all one family, we are children of the earth.
Greetings, everyone. Happy Tuesday, February 19th. This is KELLIANA, your host of Lunch with the Goddess, weekly radio show on Divas 2 Radio. And my guest today is my wonderful song sister, Australia's Wendy Rule. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, KELLIANA.
How are you? Are you on the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm up in the hills behind Santa Cruz, up in Boulder Creek. It's really chilly today, but I bet that's nothing compared to what the East Coast is like.
Yeah, what's chilly for you? It was 7 degrees here in Massachusetts yesterday, or
really?
I guess it was like 11 at one point.
Well, I don't know. I always have to do my Celsius Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's right.
In my head, and it's of course only 9 o'clock here, and I've only got one coffee under me so far, so it's too early for mathematics.
How was CampeaCon?
Interesting. It was. I learned a lot. Hung out with some amazing people. It was exhausting. You're kind of on for 3 days, but it was. Yeah, it's a really interesting gathering, and I always miss whenever I'm in a hotel room full of pagans, though, all I want to do is go outside and hug a tree, and look at the sky and remember that there's an earth as well beyond the hotel.
Right. And that's a large gathering, right? How many attendees do you think?
It's a few thousand, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's 2.5 to 3. Yeah.
Wow. That is huge.
Really, some excellent presenters, and I felt very honoured. I was asked by Selena Fox and Margot Adler to be on a panel for pagans around the world, which included Starhawk and
ooh,
yeah, I felt all special. And
you are special.
Well, yes, but these luminaries. It felt fantastic to be sitting on the same panel as them and sharing my insights of being a troubadour around the world, same as you.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That sounds fabulous. And you saw, who was there? Kenny Klein, Sharon Knight. Who else did you see there?
Oh, yeah. Chris Penzak, Ryan Foxwood, Peter Padden, Lon Milo Duquette, who I love. He's just great. We saw his concert.
Who was it?
Lon Milo Duquette. Do you know him?
No, never heard of that.
He's great. He's more into ceremonial magic, and he's an older guy, fantastic, hilarious. So kind of writes. He's written some fantastic books on that more ceremonial side. But what the side that I know and love about him is he's a musician and writes these fantastic. He's a brilliant guitarist and kind of has a jazz feel, and he writes these hilarious songs based around pagan themes. And so his concert was a hoot. And who else? Ruth Barrett, of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I met Ruth in Glastonbury, England, at my first Goddess conference, actually, in 2003. Yeah, that's when I met Ruth, and I don't think I've seen her since. It's been over 10 years, I guess.
She's a beautiful songstress and a lovely soul. And, and Selena Fox, of course, is just such a lovely, lovely woman. And,
So you are in the States now for on tour for quite a while, right? What do you have coming up?
Well, so I'm on the West Coast. We're kind of I'm traveling with my husband Tim, and we arrived about 2 weeks ago and flew into Albuquerque actually, and picked up our truck and have been doing like a road trip since then. Hold on just one sec. I've got a big white fluffy dog come to visit me in this room where I'm all right. And we picked up our truck and drove across the desert, did some hiking in Sedona, and that was great, and on our way to PantheaCon. And now we continue our loop via the Bay Area, San Francisco, gigs in Santa Cruz, and back to the desert again, where we'll be for most of March, back in New Mexico. And then I head out on an East Coast tour, Florida, and then I'm doing this gig with this fabulous singer from New England, KELLIANA.
Oh, yes. We have 3 fabulous gigs that we're doing together in April.
That's right. And so we've got our big concert. Is it Stafford in Connecticut?
Yeah, Stafford Springs, Connecticut is...
Stafford Springs, yep.
The home of the Palace
Theater. Of course. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Right, yeah, so this is it. Wendy's coming in on Friday the 19th, and she's doing a concert at Avalon Rose Cottage in Spencer, Massachusetts, which is in Central Mass, kind of near Worcester. And then on Saturday night, we're doing a double bill concert, and during the day, there's going to be a little pagan festival and market going on at the Palace Theater in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. That's a renovated, old theater that they rescued and renovated and turned into a venue. So Wendy and I were invited to do a concert there. And then on Sunday, the 21st, we are doing an all-day magical voice workshop up in Wendell, Massachusetts. So that should be really fun.
Thank you for all that, for filling everyone in.
That's our weekend.
It's going to be amazing, and the pictures from the old theater just look gorgeous, don't they?
Yeah.
That's going to be
that's going to be really cool, you guys. So come visit us somewhere here in New England. We'll get 2 Massachusetts things, and we got one in Connecticut, and we'd love to have people come out. So after you leave me here in Massachusetts, where do you head then?
Down to New York City, and I have a gig in Greenwich Village on Tuesday, let me see what that would make it, 23rd?
23rd?
Yep. And then a New Jersey gig, and then down to, I have a May 1st gig at the New Deal Cafe in Greenbelt, Maryland. So
I'll be there the week after.
Yeah, and that isn't such a lovely gig. It's just perfect. Yeah, and so and then back over to we go to then Colorado. I meet up with Tim again, and we do the Beltania Festival in Colorado the week after Beltane. So that's around the weekend of the the 11th and 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And then quickly jump on an airplane and fly back to Australia in time for my son Ruben's 21st birthday on May 18th.
So, folks, are you exhausted just listening to her? I'm getting tired just hearing about it. So Ruben, your son, turns 21 in May?
21. I know. It's fantastic. Wow. And then after that, 3 months in Australia, wintering in Australia, and I'm going to be recording 2 different projects during that time, and then coming back to America in August with Ruben and with Tim. And and we're all going to Burning Man together. So we just got our tickets the other day, and that's our 21st present to him.
That's incredible. I think Ruben was 15 when I met you guys, 15 or 16.
Yeah, maybe, because we were. Yeah, I remember he was 16. We did Salem, the Witches' Ball in Salem in 2008, and I think he was 16 then. So. Yeah,
I think that was maybe when I first met Ruben. We were doing that thing in Long Island. You and I met at some witch fest in Long Island.
Oh, that would have I think that was the year before. 15.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, he's
it's
quite
been a
while.
Man
now.
Yes, 21. That's fabulous. Good job, Mom.
Thank you. I feel very proud. He's a terrific person. So, I'll try to rope him into some of my gigs in August, September if he's around. He's a fine musician.
So he's a musician as well, then?
Yeah, he is. He plays kind of, he's in this band called Amanita, which is sort of like a beautiful cinematic psychedelic trance soundscape of instrumental, sort of like Radiohead without the vocals. Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yes, I'm a proud mom.
That's a full schedule. And then in October...
Of course. So I'm only in America 6 weeks that time, and then I go back to Australia again with you, KELLIANNA, for a month of touring on the road, an Australian adventure that, of course, we'll be sharing lots of pictures and lots of stories with everyone. And that
we're going to do a documentary film video of our... Wendy has the Goddess Conference in Australia is hosting me to go over to Australia, and Wendy, and we're headlining the Goddess Conference there this year. What city is it in?
It's just outside of Sydney. It's on the land, which is great. It's actually kind of there's camping and cabins and whatnot, so we'll not only get to present but also dance around a fire at night,
Oh, gosh, I need the fire circle more than I, need breath right now. I'm telling you what, I'm really needing a fire circle. So, yes, Wendy and I are going to go. We're going to go to the conference there in Australia, and then we're going to go on tour for another few weeks, do a road trip tour. So we have almost a full month of adventures, and I have never been to Australia, so this is like my first trip there, and what an incredible experience. And I just have to thank the Australian Goddess Conference for hosting me and bringing me to Australia. And Wendy, my lovely friend, booking all these amazing gigs for us to play.
It's going to be so much fun, and you're going to love that gathering, and they are just going to love you.
I'm excited.
You will bring so much to that. Every year that I have been there, we are all singing, I walk with the goddess, she walks with me, and I'm singing, that's my friend's song, that's KELLIANNA, and so they are just going to be blown away when you're actually there in person and
I'm
do
so
that live.
Excited.
And I think you'll get a kick out of just traveling around Australia, the vast distances of nothingness between places. And I think one of the things that I love really so much about Australia, I love nature all over Mother Earth, but the bird life in Australia is astoundingly beautiful. And even in cities, flocks of beautiful bright green parrots will just lift up from hidden in the grass in the local parkland, and then 100 green parrots will lift up and fly around.
Ooh.
It's lovely, and the sound of kookaburras, I can assure you that it's impossible not to laugh when you hear a kookaburra doing its thing in the forest, and and cockatoos, in America and Europe, people keep cockatoos as pets, which they do in Australia too, because they're very clever, intelligent animals, and they live a long life. But what I love is when they actually are really big flock animals, and they fly flocks of 100 screeching and screeching across the sky. It's utterly amazing, and that's just what they do each afternoon.
So when we go to Australia in October, that is actually the time of your Beltane.
Correct, it's springtime.
Because you guys are flip-flop from us on the southern hemisphere.
That's right.
So I'm doing 2 Beltanes this year,
That's right. Yeah, and you'll kind of get that hemispherical flip-flop thing that I do all the time, of switching.
Yeah, because after we finish our Australian tour, we're jumping on a plane so that you can come back. And are you doing the New Orleans Witches Ball this year for Samhain?
No, I'm doing a Witches Ball in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
so I'm
okay.
flying back in time for that. I think that's on, let me look at my little calendar here, Saturday, November 2nd. So I actually kind of go Beltane, Samhain within a breath.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you'll get that too, and it's really...
Yes, I mean, that's going to be some jet lag like I've never experienced. The furthest I've ever been is Beijing, China.
Right.
And that was jet lagged like I have never experienced in my life, because it's like 12 hours later there. That was quite a flip-flop. It was, I adjusted too. You know how it is. You travel, you fly in, and you just like work through your jet lag and delirium until it passes.
I know. You kind of hit the ground running, and that's just how it goes. And I often think too that a lot of what we think of as jet lag, which of course it does exist, is just the exhaustion of being in a metal box flying through the sky for 15 hours.
Yeah, it is exhausting. It's very exhausting to sit in place for hours on end,
Yeah, and it's actually quite a lesson for me, a meditative lesson, because, although I'm Scorpio, I'm a very mercurial person, and, I find it hard to sit still for more than 10 minutes. You can vouch for that, I'm sure. You've seen it in operation. But so to actually just kind of be in an aeroplane for that length of time is like, okay, I'm going to actually activate some of these magical skills that I've been working on for the past 20 years and learn just to sit and be.
Yeah. I love the on-flight movies, trust me. I wouldn't, I have a hard time sleeping on a plane, no matter how long the flight, no matter how tired I am. So usually the on-flight movies are what get me through those long flights. Yeah,
that's true. You can catch up on lots of things that you wouldn't necessarily, a lot of kind of movies that might be not ones that you'd bother going to a cinema for, really, or that you might want to be seen coming out of a cinema, seeing some kind of, little corny romantic comedy. And I always kind of get a bit more emotional on airplanes. I'll find myself, crying in a Sandra Bullock movie or something.
It's the jet lag. It's the exhaustion. So one of the important things that you wanted to talk about today was your online course that you're running with your husband, Tim. This is your second or third round of it?
This is our second round.
Okay, well, why don't you start telling us about the magical work that you're doing, the correspondence course?
Yeah, okay. Well, it's very exciting. It's called Living a Life of Magic. It's an online course that runs for 13 months, and we start March 1st. So we started March last year, and we're just have one more final ritual this upcoming Virgo full moon for our current students, and then we begin again with the next round of our community March 1st. And basically the course runs like this. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the energy behind it. First of all, it's definitely not a formal initiatory magical tradition like a traditional Wiccan course or anything like that, but it draws on pagan ideologies and beliefs and sensibilities, and has a loosely Wiccan form. And our intention is that we really want to create a community of people that can share and celebrate the amazing experience of being earthlings together on our beautiful planet, and to feel that magic, connecting in with the flow of nature, the cycles and rhythms of the moon, to feel and remember that life is absolutely amazing and it is indeed magic, and that we can then deepen our experience of life by opening ourselves to the awareness of the magical energy that's inherent in absolutely everything, and that everything is interconnected. So how we kind of do this is we follow the cycles of the moon, because as we were just talking, KELLIANA, we've got people all over the world signed up in our community, our Living a Life of Magic community in England, Canada, America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and so we can't do a Wheel of the Year in any conventional sense of like we're beginning at Samhain and we're going to do the 8 Sabbats and come back to Samhain, because October 31st is both Samhain and Beltane, depending on where you are in the world. So so instead of following that cycle of the seasonal growth and change, we work with the lunar cycle, because the full moon, no matter which hemisphere you're in, the moon is full at exactly the same moment, whether you call that midday in Australia or midnight in Massachusetts, the full moon is happening and it's in the same sign right across the world. So the moon, the lunar influence, is a uniting energy. We can, one of the games I've played with, with friends on other sides of the world, I might get up just before the dawn and see the full moon, and they might be seeing the full moon just after sunset, but we'll both go, okay, let's meet at my 8 o'clock and your 7 p.m. and we'll see, and we'll both look at the moon, and we'll actually be united in that moment. So we kind of worked with that principle and built the course around it, that the moon brings us together. She's the great mother. And so we work with the moons across throughout the year, and we send out a booklet on the new moon that's based around the themes of the astrological sign that the full moon will be in that month. So, for example, the next full moon coming up is Virgo, and so we look at the booklet is based around those themes that Virgo ignites in us, themes of service and earthy practicality and connection with our priestess and priest selves. And so we send out this booklet, and it's a really nice read. It's I love to write. Anyone who's on my email list will know that, and I love to share my own personal stories. And so it's not this very hardcore academic kind of thing. It's more a really enjoyable 40 pages of insights and poetry and links to interesting online resources and links to interesting art through the eras, and lots about the astrology, mythology. It's a really comprehensive booklet. And then on the full moon, just before the full moon, Tim and I perform the ritual that we've designed and outlined in the booklet. We perform that, record it as an MP3, and then upload it so people can then the next day on the moment of the full do their own full moon ritual.
Oh, so you have a virtual ritual going on. A virtual ritual,
and so they get all the things that we do. My rituals are always very improvised, based around a loose kind of thing, but essentially they're improvised. I never use scripts or anything like that. So we're improvising live music, guided meditations, so people kind of get private access to these lovely deep rituals, and that gives a bit of flexibility of time too, that maybe you might need to do your ritual a couple of days later, or maybe you missed out, actually you were too busy over the moment of that full, but you can come back and do that that ritual at any time that you want. You then have access to that recording, and equally our students can always email us, and we're always there. And plus, everyone we have an online forum. Everyone gets to chat amongst themselves, share their resources. We really encourage a sense of celebration of everyone's abilities. So a lot of people will be, writing.
And you find that your students utilize the forum. There's a lot of, a
lot of shared, like, hey, why don't you try this? Or I know how to do that. Or, wow, well, I actually tried this or that. And it's great. People just get to have an opportunity to shine and share what they know. And Tim and I definitely don't do the kind of guru thing of, hey, we know exactly what you're meant to be doing. We're just on the path too. We just want to bring people together.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, we're going to have a music break right now, and then we're going to come back and have you tell us some more about your online course. And I picked out I have many favorites, but this is one of my favorite songs of yours. This is off Lotus Eaters, and this is Wendy Rule with The Raven Song.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys aren't surprised that that's one of my favorites. Love the percussion with the kick-ass vocals. Yes, indeed. It's good stuff right there.
Thanks.
Love the Lotus Eaters. It's one of my favorite one of your albums. And that was until I got live at the Castle on the Hill, which is also an amazing, amazing album.
Oh, thank you. That's our latest release. Yeah, that was we did this gig up in Australia, northern New South Wales, and it was in this gorgeous place that's called the Castle on the Hill, and it's kind of like a mock castle like they used to build in the 1930s, and it really gorgeous, big, great hall, and so we do gigs there quite often when I'm touring up that way. And at the end of the gig, the sound guy said, "Hey, I recorded that," and it's like the easiest album I've ever made.
Yeah, because it was a live show, and it was beautifully done.
Thank you. And then we just kind of, edited it and mastered it. And there's something, I think it was lovely that I had no idea it was being recorded. And so there's a real
it is sometimes better, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't alter what I normally do or anything like that. I just did my thing. And so it's got a lot of ritual, I cast circle at the beginning of my gigs, as many people know. And say goodbye to the elements at the end. And so they've got all that kind of improvised stuff in there that, without any self-consciousness of, oh, my God, this is a record I'm making, you know.
Is that available on CD Baby?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah, so folks, if you can check out CD Baby, even iTunes, if you can check out Wendy's live album, live at the Castle on the Hill. It's a fabulous, fabulous album. There's a song on there called Vasilisa that I absolutely love. And I didn't put it on the show because it's 8 minutes long, the live version.
Really?
I wanted to put, but yeah, it's an 8-minute version of Vasilisa. It's a great, great song.
Hilarious.
I'm like, oh, Vasilisa's 8 minutes on the CD. But yeah, I recommend it, folks, highly. And also the other one of my favorites of hers is Lotus Eaters. I just love the CD. It's hard to pick a favorite, but those are the two that once I put them in the CD player in the car, they kind of stay in a few rounds before I switch them out. Now, about going back to your course, anything else you want to share with us about that? And also let people know, are you full for this year?
No, we've got about 10 places left.
Okay, so why don't you let people know how they can look into it if they want to register for your online course?
Yeah, so we've got a website with all the info. It's Living a Life of Magic, livingalifeofmagic.com, and magic just spelled with MAGIC, because I don't feel I need to make a particular distinction. So, I think everything's magic. So livingalifeofmagic.com, and you'll find there the application process, and really, the application process, we're open to anyone who has an open mind and a true heart that wants to be doing magic for the good of all. And, and we just like to learn a little bit about you and make sure it's where that the course is going to suit you, and that you're open to being part of this really thriving community. And we have we try to make the course as accessible financially as we can for everyone. We have a low income. We have monthly installments and a low income rate as well, and of course a discount for upfront payment, so that I don't have to do all that secretarial work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That always makes it so much easier. But we do. I know what it's like living low income after being an independent music and a single mum for a lot of time. So we really want to make that workable for everybody involved.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So check that out, folks. If you're interested in this online magical course with Wendy and Tim, I would highly recommend it. Wendy was here last summer, and she was diligently working in the little office I set up for her, writing up her booklets and things for the course. So she put a lot of time. I saw her putting a lot of time and energy into that.
I do. It's been really, it's been quite amazing actually. All of last year, we've been, we were on the road. Tim and I have been on the road continuously since January 2012, and we took 5 weeks over summer in Australia in January just to be, and we had a little beach house and just did our thing there. But the rest of the time we have really been on the go, and so it was both challenging and very rewarding to have this course as the constant throughout our year, that we would need to think, where are we going to be for the full moon? What's going to be the best place and location to do our ritual? What's going to suit the energy that we're talking about, and plotting the tour accordingly. And so that's been challenging, because it's much easier if you've just got an altar set up and there you go. But but it's
you always travel with your altar stuff, though, don't you? Usually have a little.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like I have.
Wendy always, has her little altar in her suitcase, and she busts it out when she arrives. Traveling altar, you have to do it when you can't be home and when you're away from your home space for months at a time.
Exactly, and it also just gives me that sense of center wherever I go. I can set up my little altar and know that all my favorite little crystals and my statues of the goddess and all this kind of stuff, it's all there. Yeah. Someone actually gave me, at a gig in New Zealand, someone made me this absolutely tiny little miniature book of shadows that's about an inch square. It's so cute.
Oh.
Yeah.
How cute.
With a little leather cover, and it's my traveling book of shadows.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So this is a great thing for you and Tim to be doing together, to be doing this magical course. I mean, he plays some gigs with you, but this is another really powerful and important way that you guys get to walk together within this life that, you know, you lead and
yeah.
teach together. It's a great and amazing opportunity.
Yeah, Tim brings a lovely energy to the course. He's a very gentle and focused guy, and he also, you know, he brings a lot of knowledge that I have a general knowledge of, but he's really great with the herbs and the crystals. And so he actually writes that part of the booklet each month and does all the research for those and writes that up. And he's really quite funny in his writing style as well. And
well, he's got a great sense of humor. You know, he's really, really quite funny about it. And if you don't know Tim, he's a wonderful musician, plays guitar with Wendy, and he also is the most incredible artist.
Yeah, he is. He did the artwork for the front cover of Live at the Castle.
That's his artwork on the cover. Yeah, he's an amazing artist. So he's quite a remarkable man with some great talent.
Wonderful. So it's been, you know, a massive learning curve as well, and as you say, another thread to weaving our relationship and creating greater depth. And you know, we got married on 11/11/11, and you know, we've been together a few years before that, and we've really just dived right in and gone, okay, let's just pull all of our resources and travel the world with gypsies and see what happens. And
I personally think that's a beautiful way to live.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely.
You know, and you know, you get to, like you say, take all of your skills and all of those tools that you have, and you know, being musicians, full-time, you know, professional musicians, both of us for many years have done that. You have to draw on all of your skills to make it work, don't you?
It's incredible. Like, you look at any independent musician on the scene now, we all have to be good at Photoshop. We all have to know how to...
Yeah, right, marketing, self-promotion, graphic design, you know.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Costume design.
Kind of like we're real Renaissance people, you know, because one thing I learned actually early on in my career, I kept waiting, you know, I've been doing this for a long, long, long time, and early on, like my first record came out in 96, and I thought, you know, before then I thought, wow, some knight in shining armor is going to come along and make it all really easy. I'll get signed to a label, and then, wow, I'll be famous, and won't that be easy? And then, you know, that didn't happen. That wasn't my path. And so it's like, well, I better do it myself then. And so then it's like, okay, make an album. And it kept happening that I thought, wow, maybe this will be the show where someone will discover me.
Discover me, yes, and I'll be an overnight success.
And it's like, okay, so, and, you know, I don't easily give up. So it's like, well, I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until now I've got this whole bag of skills that I use all the time, and I'm actually some of my friends that did get discovered by a major label in Australia and put out records and were totally screwed over. Now, you know, I am very happy that I'm an independent artist, and back then in, you know, 96 when Zero came out, my first album, the internet was, you know, hardly anyone was using it, and you know, on a general public level. And now everything's caught up to make being an independent artist really amazingly easy for us. We have to be on the ball. But how wonderful that I can run an online course, or that people that you can say, hey, check out iTunes for our music, or you can even do remote recording and send an MP3 to someone, and, you know. Yeah, technology is definitely working for us in this day and age of independent musicians in the pagan genre, because none of the record labels are going to have a clue how to market our stuff. But we, after touring the world in all these festivals, we know exactly who to market our material to. That's it. And, you know, you don't see an independent artists complaining about the availability, the easy availability of, you know, downloads and whatnot. It's the record companies that are worrying about that, because it takes the control away from them. You know, this is the age of Aquarius, and we can all access the information we need. And I've also found that, of course, there are people that will download stuff for free and share CDs and burn copies.
Right.
You know, I don't even have a problem with that, because I know that if someone actually connects in with my music and loves it, that 97.5% of the time, they are actually then going to recognize that we're independent artists and need their grassroots support and go and actually buy the stuff that we need, or turn up,
exactly,
they want.
or buy your next album as a download or something.
Buy the next album, or turn up at a concert, so I'm quite happy if people find, if someone burns a copy for a friend and says, hey, check this out. So often people will then just follow through that support by becoming a really genuine fan,
Well, that happened when I was in Holland last summer. I did a women's festival there, and I did a house concert at Astrid's house, and who you hooked me up with, thank you. And one of the women there had recorded for me a compilation CD of, Nordic music. And I ended up going on, and there were so many amazing songs on this CD, 15 tracks, that I went online, and I ended up buying and downloading CDs from 5 artists on that album.
Yeah, exactly.
So I took the compilation CD she gave me, and I ended up purchasing 5 CDs from 4 different artists because I thought it was so amazing. So, and that's the case of us. If somebody's given a compilation out with Jenna Green and Wendy Rule on it and KELLIANNA and Gypsy Nomads or Dragon Retro Drummers, and somebody goes out and starts purchasing albums, then I think it's worth it.
Same here. I really do. I totally believe that, because I also think that our listening public has a lot of integrity, and they know that we're artists, and so of course they're supportive. I find that in general when I'm touring that the level of support is just so beautiful and so nurturing and so caring, and I think that's the other lovely side of being really at the front line. We're not up on stage, up on some enormous stage with thousands of people and then running off to the band room after the gig. We're in there chatting with people and talking and getting to meet people and learn and grow, and we're actually an active part of the community,
Well, it's wonderful. And then people love the fact that we're getting out there and traveling to their festivals, wherever they might be, and I always feel very welcomed when I travel. I mean, it's like going home.
Yeah, that's right.
No matter where you land, it feels something like going home. We're going to do a music break. We want to give these guys at lunch hour a little something really fun to listen to. This is from Live at the Castle on the Hill. This is a live album they just released. This is The Wolf Sky.
The wolf sky, I felt the dark clouds forming, an omen apparition, and with the thunder rolling, our house preceded the storm. We lay within the birds that lay upon the hillside, we lay within a growing gun, we felt the bird within us, and with the thunder rolling, we left the ground for the sky. Dark cloud deeper and ran the wild moon hunting, alive with fur and feather as omen apparition. We left the moon suspended and left back onto the ground. beneath the wolf sky. We felt the dark clouds forming, an omen apparition, and with the thunder rolling, our howl preceded the storm. We lay beneath the wolf sky. We lay beneath the wolf sky. Lord of the dead, Lord of the dead, Lord of the hill, Lord of the dead.
That was The Wolf Sky from Live at the Castle on the Hill. Now, folks, it's one thing to sound amazing in a produced studio album, but it's a whole separate thing to sound, that amazing when you're playing live. It's a sign of true talent and skill. So that live album is beautiful and highly recommended.
Important in my life.
Wendy,
my relationship,
are you there?
I'm here.
People, and
Hi.
animals, and the universe.
Oh, am I still?
What is that?
Oh, I think that must be in the background, me chatting. Maybe the record needs to be stopped.
Of our beautiful.
Oh, is that the
Venus.
next track?
I think it must be the next track.
Somehow?
Because, of course, on that album I introduce all the songs and chat in between. And,
Okay, that's what that was. And it must have been some sort of intro for the next song. But that was The Wolf Sky. Love that song. Love that live version of
Thanks
it.
so much.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you were at PentheCon or anything this weekend or over the last couple of days, have you heard anything about the Fox News anchors that were...
Goodness, Kelliana.
Did you see that clip of the Fox News
I
anchors?
went on Facebook yesterday on the way home. I stopped off at a cafe, and someone had put a link up on my Facebook page. Yeah. Have you seen the footage?
Yeah, I saw it. For those of you who might be not have known, but there was the University of Missouri had written into their handbook that Wiccans and pagans were allowed their holidays, just like the people of Jewish faith and Christian faith were allowed. So these three anchors on Fox News decided to really make a mockery of Wiccans and pagans. It was pretty horrific, and some of the comments that they made were just so insulting and
offensive,
bigoted and offensive beyond all belief. So there's been quite a bit of hubbub going on Facebook, and Fox News has been getting bombarded by thousands and thousands of calls and emails about it.
It's just it's very deeply distressing that, for a start, this legally recognized religion. They're talking about Wicca and paganism, and they are so derisive about it. First of all, making out that it's so ill-informed, it's incredible. Making out that there's hardly any Wiccans in America. Oh, okay.
The little blonde Southern belle's like, I don't know any.
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, well, why would that be, do you think?
Yeah, right.
One of the anchors was saying that any Wiccan he's known is just either a Dungeons and Dragons player or a middle-aged, twice-divorced woman who's probably a midwife hanging out in the forest.
Burning lots of incense. Yeah, it was so insulting.
It was horrible. Absolutely. I was aghast. And so please, everybody, go and find, there's a petition. I know that someone posted it on my Facebook page. You'll find it there. But just go online and do a search. There's a petition against Fox News. And that petition, sign the petition. When I looked yesterday, it was up to 17,000, and I bet that's doubled by this stage.
I need to find that and share it on my page too, because I want everybody to be signing it. But we also can look at this. We, the pagan community and Wiccan community, can look at this as an opportunity to maybe educate some of the masses about who we are, what we believe, and what we do. So I look at this almost as an opportunity. It brings Wiccan paganism into the forefront here.
That's right, exactly.
We have the opportunity to educate people, not to preach or to criticize and judge like they did, but really just to educate and say where we're coming from.
Because they were operating from a point of extreme ignorance. They really were. They had no idea what was going on. They had none. And if that had been if they were talking about the Muslim faith or the Jewish faith or the Hindu faith, really the uproar would be enormous. And we need to make sure that as pagans that we let the world know that we will not be ridiculed in that way. It was I found it really very distressing. And the Fox News Facebook page, one of those like pages, please don't like it, but do send them a message.
I went and posted a message yesterday.
Yep. And really that there needs to be a public apology and a clarification.
That's what the petition is about, right? A public apology?
A public apology. And, because that was... So, and isn't it interesting that this should happen around the time, the Pope resigning? It's like...
I know. It's crazy.
There's a lot going on.
Okay, well, let's just make a little comment about, the end of the Mayan calendar. Winter solstice, 2012. I don't know about any of you, but I'm going to speak from my own experience, okay? My life has been turned upside down since this happened. And I'm seeing all these major things happening. The Pope retiring, other things, friends of mine.
The asteroid skimming past Earth the other day?
The asteroid, 17,000 miles away from Earth, closer than the satellites, mind you.
Wow.
Okay? Incredibly, and then that was the asteroid, and then the meteorites hitting the Earth, and just crazy stuff is happening. And
it is.
I think that was that shift, that energetic shift that happened.
I totally agree. And I think that this Fox News thing is, as you say, that this nothing is a coincidence,
Right. It's an opportunity.
This has happened right now because paganism is stepping up, and it has been. There's been people out there for years doing their deep work of saying, hey, this is actually a very beautiful spiritual path of great validity, and so this happens then at Fox News, coinciding with all these other world events that is actually saying there's some big changes happening.
That's what I feel. With the Pope resigning and with this whole thing with Fox News and the Wiccans and pagans, there's things happening here, especially, we got to continue to fight for our religious freedom, and to me that just blows my mind. In our day and age, we're still fighting for our acceptance of our religious beliefs. I mean,
exactly. And
blows my mind.
We can't ever be complacent with this. I have to admit I'm kind of take a very I'm not a particularly political person. Actively, so I just do my spiritual path in honor of Mother Earth, and of course, I'm a hippie at heart. Everything is about deep honoring of Mother Earth and love for the planet. But something like this Fox News thing makes me actually get up and go, no, we cannot be complacent. We can't just be burying our heads in the sand and going, it'll all be cool, we'll maintain our religious rights and freedom. No, we must always be aware that we need to be maintaining and protecting our right to religious freedom.
Right, truly. And to me, that's a shame, like I said, in this day and age. And just as you said, if it had been, an attack on Muslim faith or the Jewish faith or the Christian faith on this Fox News show, I mean, my goodness, right?
Yeah,
it would have
exactly.
been
So we need to
incredible.
make sure that they do indeed say, my goodness, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was, like I said, I had mixed feelings about it. Number one, it was, like I said, it was very insulting, but I also saw it as an opportunity.
Most definitely, definitely. I get quite excited by things like that, like, oh, here we go then, radio. Great.
Let's jump into the fray. All right, here we go. I'm waiting in there. I said to Chris, I might have to write a political pagan-y song after this whole thing, I mean.
Yeah, that's right.
I might have to introduce a little bit about our religious freedoms into the music,
Well, being on
that we keep fighting, and this uproar over what happened is really important. And there are Christians who are defending the pagans as well. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I've seen people of Christian faith get on and say that it was wrong and that they don't agree with it, and so it's really important what's happening right now.
It is really important. We're at a very, very exciting juncture of world history, aren't we?
We are, and we are in the thick of it. We in the pagan music world, which there wasn't much of a pagan music world, 20 years ago. I mean, there was a little bit going on here and there, but I think our genre has exploded globally.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking with someone I'm trying to remember who it was at PantheaCon yesterday, and we were talking about Gypsy and Salem, and she was really at the forefront of early pagan music, wasn't she?
And Emerald Rose, I would say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of great music since those wonderful people helped pave the way.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We are very lucky in America. There's a lot of amazing pagan bands, and if you tour the festivals, you get to see great music every time you hit a festival. Some amazing,
pretty amazing,
pagan artists will be there.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be a part of it. Absolutely. I want to know a little bit about your recording projects this year. We have about 4.5 minutes left, so just give us a few minutes to break down on your projects.
Okay, well, I'm going to be working on 2 different projects. I'm writing songs right now for my next kind of major soul journey album. I've had 6 studio albums so far, the last being Guided by Venus. So this will be the next one, and it's most likely going to be called Black Snake, and is going to be an exploration, quite a deep, dark, soft, wintry, hibernating album, and about really the stripping back and changing process that I have gone through over the past couple of years. I've gone through a lot of deep changes, and I need to explore that and make sense of it. And so I've written a number of songs. When I went on a retreat in New Mexico last year, began that. I'll do that again in March, spend another week out on the land in New Mexico. So anyway, I'm going to begin recording that. I don't necessarily intend to get that finished, but I just want to make a good headway with that. And then the other project is called Persephone, and it is an album of songs that are structured around the mythological Greek story of the descent of Persephone into the underworld. So it's a collaborative album. I've been working with a woman called Elisa Goodrich, who is a vibraphone player and also a scholar of Greek mythology, a lecturer at university, and we've been working together for the past number of years. I've written a huge selection of songs, and we're really ready to record, so we're pretty excited about that.
Amazing. Weren't you doing some sort of performance pieces around Persephone a couple years ago?
Yeah, that's what initially we were going to do this as our original intention, which is still our intention. This is one stage along the way, is to present this as a live theatre piece where I'm playing the role. It's just musicians on stage, and then I'm the only kind of performer switching between the roles of the maiden mother crone, so Persephone, Demeter, and Hecate, and so we began the work on that, and then thought actually the best way to refine that to create our theatre show is first of all to get the music part of it really
soundtrack kind of part,
strong. Yeah. So we'll be recording the album, and then we'll be presenting it in a theatrical format.
Well, I hope you'll do a DVD of your performance.
Oh, you bet we will. We'll tour it as well. That's our intention, we're pitching to arts festivals around the world right now. So, yeah. Oh, yeah,
absolutely. I would love to see it. Anything else you'd like to share with us? We have about 1.5 minutes left.
Okay, well, what else would I like to share? Well, just that it's been absolutely amazing catching up with you, KELLIANA, and I'm so thrilled that we get to weave our magic together in New England. So we're 2 springtime tours really together, because we've got April in New England and then October in Australia, and
right.
So 2 springtime adventures, 2 wild warrior women Amazon songstresses out on the road together. So we will definitely have adventures to share.
We will, and hopefully, like I said, we can get them on video so we can document our little antics when we're on the road. I think it'll be really fun.
It will be
I'm kind of bad with a video camera. I love the video.
We'll learn. It can be a learning curve. And
my commentary is pretty uncontrolled too. The camera.
And
this should be really fun.
I have this kind of old beaten up 4-wheel drive van that will be that has seen many a road trip in Australia, so we'll be out there, do a bit of camping as well as festivals.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be
Wendy, thank you for coming on the show today. And thank you so much for traveling into the States so that we get to have you a couple times a year here. It's like you are a gift. You are an absolute gift, and I am grateful for you. Thank you, Fran, for running there in the background. My producer, Fran Jones, is in the background. We got about 15 seconds left, and we're going to say good afternoon, and hope you enjoyed our show today. Thank you, Wendy Rule.
Thanks, KELLIANA, and blessed to be here.
Come to the woman
Divas 2 radio broadcast schedule, education and entertainment for real people. Every Monday, tune in to MYOB, Minding Your Own Business, Business and Financial Education with host Coach Arthur Johnson. That's every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesday, Lunch with the Goddess with recording artist KELLIANA, interviewing stars in Celtic and world music. That's every Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wednesday, Wake Up America with L. Shirley Harvey, examining what you don't know from a Christian point of view. And that's 9 p.m. on the East Coast and 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Thursday, Conspiracy Files with host Vernon C. Hale. Conspiracies or facts? Examinations from a Christian perspective. That's Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Friday, Food Talk with Chef Ernesto, the coolest chef on the planet. It's all about food. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Saturday, burnt toast and coffee time. Saturday morning meetup with friends and family over coffee. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sunday, praise and worship. You have the best in old-time gospel presented by Brother Vernon C. Hale. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific. Followed by Sunday Morning Glory with Pastor Roxy Parks, presenting talks and teachings with many of the leaders in the Christian arena. And that's every third Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time and 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time. This is the Divas 2 radio lineup, real talk for real people, every day on Divas 2. This is Divas 2 Radio. Real talk for real people. Stay tuned.